Hello guys, and welcome back to another election prediction video. This time it's the monthly prediction, so we're going to do President Joe Biden versus former President Donald Trump for this 2024 matchup. So right now I'm just going to set up the safe states. These states will not be competitive whatsoever and will not be in reach of winning for any candidate or any opposing candidate. So almost done here. As of right now, I think Donald Trump has a lot of momentum because Joe Biden's current approval rating is about -10, but Trump, on the other hand, his approval rating, well, he's out of office. It's his favorability rating. That's about a -11. So Trump is unpopular by about -1 point compared to Joe Biden. If you like sync them up, Biden's -10, Trump's -11. So that's a matchup for a competitive election. So let me just get into the first reasonings here. Iowa and Ohio, Biden's approval is really low. And these states, I just think Trump's going to win them by over 10%. So they're not going to be competitive at all in 2024. Plus, Ohio has been on this right-wing shift. Like in the last election, so in 2016, Trump won this state by 8 points. In 2020, he wins it by 8 points again, but the whole national United States moved to the left by about 2 points. So Republicans gained ground in Ohio, according to that shift. They shifted to the right about 2 points of the nation. Same with Iowa. They kind of shifted the same. So ranking these two states the same as solid is a fair rating, I would say. All right, let's head into the first few states. Texas, likely state. I think it's going to shift to the left by a couple points relative to the nation, but I think Trump will probably carry it around 6 points. Probably about the same margin he won last time, but there's a lot of new registered voters signing up in Texas, moving from blue states like California, on the other hand, and yeah, a lot of liberal voters moving to Texas currently, so I think Texas stay right where it is currently, just based on my assumptions. Florida, I think it's going to be a likely state as well. I think it's going to get more and more Republican as time goes on, and Florida might one day be more Republican than Texas eventually. We have to see, but I think Trump will improve his margins on Latino Americans, especially Cubans. Will probably win by even more this time. So that's my reasoning for that. So New Mexico and Colorado, I think Democratic margins here will go down significantly just because Biden's approval rating's in the negatives right now, so that'll definitely hurt him, these two states. He'll still carry him by a good margin, though. Same with Virginia. I mean, Republicans did flip this red in the governor's race, but I do not think they're going to be able to flip this state nationally, especially with Donald Trump. What Glenn Youngkin did was he distanced himself from Trump just enough that he still got his endorsement while appeasing moderate Republicans. And plus, Republican turnout was very high in the governor's race, while Democratic turnout was pretty low. So that's an explanation why Youngkin won there. So I don't think Trump will have a shot at all in Virginia, unless Biden's approval goes in, like, I don't know, -15 to -20 range. Then he'll maybe have a shot. Because Trump is just as unfavorable as Biden right now. There's only a -1 point difference. So Trump has a -11 favorability. So yeah, I think he'll definitely need to even be competitive in Virginia. He needs to get Biden down to -20. So Nebraska's second. I actually think Trump will probably carry this district. This district has been made more Republican through redistricting by about 3 points. So I think Trump will probably carry it by around 2 points is my estimate currently. The next state, Arizona and Nevada. I think Trump's going to win them by around the same margin. I think these states are going to come closely linked together. I think their vote margins are get pretty similar because Arizona's becoming more Democratic and Nevada's slightly becoming more Republican over time. So keep an eye on those two trends. North Carolina, on the other hand, I think that's also going to be a likely state for Donald Trump, just because North Carolina is always close for Democrats, but I think Trump's probably going to carry this by over 5 points, just based on how low Biden's approval rating is in North Carolina. That'll significantly hurt him there. So the next state, It's going to be Wisconsin. Believe it or not, I think it'll probably be around lean. Trump will probably win it by around 4 points as of right now. I'm assuming that the popular vote's going to be very close in this election. I mean, Biden may edge it out by 1 point, Trump may edge it out by 1 point. But Wisconsin, relative to the nation, is about Republican by about 4 points. So I think it's fair to say that Trump will probably carry it by around that margin. All right. The next state, Georgia, giving Trump the win. I think it's going to be tilt Republican. I think Trump will probably be able to win this state just barely. I think Biden has a huge chance at winning this, even if he barely wins the popular vote, barely loses it, because Georgia's getting a really Democratic over time. You notice that it's a huge trend with Georgia. So it's possible that Biden could very well win it. But as of right now, based on Biden's low approvals in this state, I think Trump will be able to narrowly edge it out against Joe Biden there. All right, the next state, Pennsylvania, I think Trump will probably carry by about a lean margin, just because I think he'll get all those Rust Belt voters back, and there might be buyer's remorse about voting for Biden, considering how low his approval rating currently is. But Biden has time to improve that. I'm sure this won't be the final result of 2024. So there's a lot of time in between then. But if the election were held today, this is what the map kind of would look like so far. So the next state, Minnesota, I think Biden will probably barely win it. I think his favorability ratings are like stable enough in this state to get barely a win here to prevent Trump from winning it. Same with New Hampshire is kind of interesting, but I'm gonna say narrowly goes to Biden just by a hair. It's gonna be extremely close, probably by like 1,000 or 2,000 votes, like it was in 2016. Same with Maine. I think it'll be around the 2016 margin, and Biden will carry it by around 3 points. But Trump in Maine second, he'll carry that solidly by 10 points. So the election all comes down to Michigan, and I think Trump will barely win here against Joe Biden, giving us Biden 225 to Trump's 313, and Trump will improve on his margin he got in 2016 by a considerable amount. I mean, he adds Nevada to the total, and through redistricting, it kind of gave a buff to some Republican states like Texas and Florida and North Carolina. But this is my 2024 election prediction. It was Joe Biden versus Donald Trump. Let me know what you think of it in the comment section below, guys. I'll see you guys in the next video. Like, comment, subscribe. Peace.